students, after discussion about the energy production within the TCA cycle, the total complete oxidation of glucose produces 38 ATPs. In that, 2 ATPs are utilized within the glycolysis phase. So the net gain of ATPs are 36 ATPs, right? So we discussed about the trick to remember the TCA cycle and the products of the TCA cycle, right? So that is about the tricarboxylic acid cycle. After that, generally the metabolism is there, right? See, respiration not only related to the carbohydrate metabolism. Respiration is not only related to the carbohydrate metabolism. Fats are involved in the respiration process. Carbohydrates are involved in the respiration process, right? And the proteins contains amino acids. Amino acid degradation process occurs. So that products also involved in the respiration process. So what I am telling here, generally we know that energy source is the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are involved in the cellular respiration process. All of you remember, not only carbohydrate, fats also involved in the energy production. Fats also involved in the energy production. So most of the students already know, okay, carbohydrates produces energy, fats also produces energy. Okay, amino acids means proteins also involved in the production of energy. So we know the carbohydrates are how energy produced, because we discussed by the glycolysis, by the TCA cycle, the energy production takes place. So how fats produces energy, how fats produces ATP, how proteins or how amino acids produces ATP. So we are going to discuss about the energy production or respiration process done by the fats and the amino acids. So in that case, we know that well-known metabolism is the carbohydrate metabolism. Here, glucose 6-phosphate followed by that fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. See, there is a dihydroxyester phosphate and the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Finally, pyruvate production takes place. That pyruvate converted into the acetyl-CoA. That acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. That acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. So that TCA cycle involved in the energy production, that is nothing but ATP production. We know that cellular respiration can be divided into that 3 phases, especially whatever that glycolysis pathway, and next one is the TCA cycle pathway, and next one is the electron transport chain, right? That is related to that carbohydrate metabolism. Fats also involved in the energy production. How fats produces ATP? Most of the students have the doubt here. I already said so many times, fats are involved in the oxidation process inside the mitochondria, right? There is in fats breakdown enzymes are present, and whatever that fat components are there which are broken down and which are produces the acetyl-CoA, and that acetyl-CoA involved in the ATP production. That acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. Then the TCA cycle produces the energy. Very simple concept. Fats are broken down into acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA directly involved in the TCA cycle. See here, there is no glycolysis pathway, directly TCA cycle. But this process requires oxygen. So here, one of the fatty acid metabolism. This is carbohydrate metabolism, right? This is one of the fatty acid metabolism. Within this case, the fats are degraded into that. These are the fats degraded into the fatty acids and the glycerol. We know that glycerol is the backbone structure, right? That is also fat-related compound. So here, the fatty acids are oxidized or broken down. Last time we have discussed inside the mitochondria, whatever that fat structures are there, the fat structures are broken down. There is a beta oxidation, right? Beta oxidation takes place. Once the beta oxidation takes place, there is an acetyl-CoA production takes place. The acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. The acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. So the concept is very simple here. Oxidation of fatty acids means breakdown of fatty acids. Presence of oxygen, because here acetyl-CoA is produced. Okay, oxygen is required because acetyl-CoA is produced. Right? This is related to the TCA cycle. TCA cycle interact with the oxygen. TCA cycle interact with the oxygen because see, TCA cycle not directly interact with the oxygen. TCA cycle not directly interact with the oxygen. I already said TCA cycle presence of oxygen only takes place, because whatever the components which are produced within the TCA cycle, which are interact with the electron transport chain. So what I am telling here, electron transport chain definitely requires the oxygen. So TCA cycle indirectly requires the oxygen. So here, see, the fatty acid metabolism also requires the oxygen, because here acetyl-CoA production takes place. That acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. Okay, produces that high energy compounds. These high energy compounds interact with that electron transport chain. Finally, oxygen requirement is there. So the simple concept is the fats which are broken down into the fatty acids and the glycerol. The fatty acids are there. The fats are broken down again here. See, the fatty acids are broken down, not fats. Fats are broken down into fatty acids and the glycerol. The fatty acids are broken down. This is one of the beta oxidation process. Here acetyl-CoA production takes place. That acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. See, glycerol also converted into the dihydroxyacetone phosphate, right? Between these two there is a changes that take place. That dihydroxyacetone phosphate converted into that glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Again here pyruvate production. Again here acetyl-CoA production. Again this one is also involved in the TCA cycle. Glycerol is also involved in the TCA cycle by the conversion process. So whatever the fats are there, if the fats are broken down into the fatty acids and the glycerol is the backbone structure. These two also involved in the TCA cycle. Finally, ATP production takes place. See, if anyone asks me the question, carbohydrates produces much energy, or the fats produces much energy. See, simple answer is that fats produces more energy, because within the glycolysis pathway there is an energy consumption takes place. Here directly TCA cycle, there is no link reaction, there is no glycolysis. So TCA cycle, more amount of energy. Each cycle 12 molecules. So one acetyl-CoA produces the 12 molecules of ATP. So fats produces the more energy compared with the carbohydrates. But majorly we are taking our diet contains the carbohydrates. We are taking whatever the food is there. Our diet contains that maximum amount of carbohydrates. So the fats also there, but fats produces the if we compare one glucose molecule and the one fatty acid, which one produces the more energy? If anyone asks me the question, fats produces the more amount of energy compared with the carbohydrate. Because here directly then interact with the TCA cycle. Right? So that's the reason why here the fats, fatty acids and glycerol, right? And carbohydrates we already discussed. Last one is that protein. See, we see the one of that catabolism process, that is nothing but degradation process. We know one of that RBC once lifespan is completed, whatever that parts are present, the parts are degraded. Even the proteins are there, the proteins also degraded. Once the lifespan of any cell or any particular structure completed, the molecules undergoes the degradation process. Whatever the enzymes and whatever the proteins are there, once the lifespan is completed, which are undergoes the degradation process. During that degradation process, the proteins are converted into amino acids. The amino acids involved in the deamination process means removal of amino group. Once the amino group is removed, right here, there is an acetyl-CoA production takes place. That acetyl-CoA involved in the TCA cycle. So here my concept is whatever that fat metabolism, whatever that carbohydrate metabolism, whatever that protein metabolism, all these metabolisms are linked with the cellular respiration process. Finally produces the ATP. So this is about that schematic presentation of biomolecules which are involved in the cellular respiration or ATP production, because that acetyl-CoA is the hub. That acetyl-CoA production done by all these proteins, carbohydrates and the fats. So that's the reason why here acetyl-CoA is the hub which is interact with that electron transport chain. There is nothing but TCA cycle which is interact with the TCA cycle. Finally energy production takes place. That is about the respiration. By the different types of biomolecules. Not only carbohydrates here. Here the main concept is fats also involved in the respiration. Proteins also involved in the respiration. We already know carbohydrates also involved in the respiration. Right? That is about that respiration. Right? Next one we will discuss about the electron transport chain. this is the last step in the respiration process. The very first step is the glycolysis. The second step is the TCA cycle. After that, within the cellular respiration process, the very last step is the electron transport chain, because electron transport chain involved in the ATP production. The final theme of respiration is ATP production. That ATP production done by the electron transport chain. How many of them remembered? I don't know. Within the first year, we discussed about mitochondria structure. This is one of the outer membrane of mitochondria, right? This is the inner membrane of mitochondria. Within inner membrane of mitochondria, there is a complex structures are there. That is nothing but within inner membrane of mitochondria, electron transport chain is present. Within inner membrane of mitochondria, electron transport chain is present. That electron transport chain, okay, majorly having the 5 complexes. Majorly having the 5 complexes. There is a complex 1 is there, right? And complex 2 is there, and right? Complex 3, complex 4, right? This is the complex 5. This is the complex 5. So complex 5 is the ATP synthase enzyme. Complex 5 is the ATP synthase enzyme. Remember, these complexes, especially complex 1 to complex 4, involve in the transport of electrons. Within inner membrane of mitochondria, electron transport chain is present. That electron transport chain contains complexes. Totally 5 complexes are there. Within that 5 complexes, 4 complexes are involved in the transport of electrons. So from complex 1 to, see, ubiquinone is present. Ubiquinone, electrons are transported. Ubiquinone to complex 3, complex 3 to complex 4. At complex 4, the molecular oxygen is interacted. The molecular oxygen is interacted and 2 H plus ions are taken. Finally produces the water molecule. Finally produces the water molecule. So what I am telling here, within inner membrane of mitochondria, complex structures are there. These complex structures are involved in the transport of electrons. So how these have the capacity to transport the electrons? See, very simple. Whatever the TCA cycle is there, within the TCA cycle, there is an high energy compounds are produced, NADH plus H plus and FADH2. FADH2. See, NADH plus H plus interact with the complex 1. FADH2 interact with the complex 2. NADH plus H plus interact with the complex 1. FADH2 interact with the complex 2. So both the pathways are 2 different means. Complex 1 pathway is different from complex 2 pathway, but both the pathways are involved in the transport of electrons. Both the pathways are involved in the transport of electrons. Remember, NADH plus H plus started with, means interact with complex 1 structure. Okay. Then FADH2 interact with the complex 2 structures. Both these are involved in the transport of electrons. So what is the use of transport of electrons? See, the main concept of transport of electrons, pumping of H plus ions. Pumping of H plus ions. Here main theme is not the electron transport. Actually electrons are transported, but that is not the main theme. Main theme is pumping of H plus ions. So how ATP is produced? By the pumping of H plus ions. By the pumping of H plus ions. If electrons are transported, if H plus ions are not transported, there is no ATP synthesis. But here our target is, if the electrons are transported, H plus ions are transported. If the H plus ions are transported, these H plus ions are involved in the synthesis of ATP. Involved in the synthesis of ATP. So that is about that concept. Remember, all of you here, there is a pumping of H plus ions takes place, right? That H plus ions are involved in the synthesis of ATP. So how ATP synthesis takes place? We know, we already discussed within the TCA cycle, NADH H plus, right? So I say NADH plus, NADH plus H plus is equals to 3 ATPs, and FADH2 is equals to the 2 ATPs. 2 ATPs, sir. How can you say the NADH plus H plus is equals to 3 ATPs, FADH3 is equals to the 2 ATPs? This is the main concept. This is the main concept. I already said, see, this is the complex one. NADH plus H plus is the complex one. So NADH plus H plus contains electrons are, NADH plus H plus contains electrons are donated to the complex one. So this is the complex one. This is the complex one. So to complex one, the NADH plus H plus is interacted, then high energy compound is converted into low energy compound, right? These electrons are transported. Once the electrons are transported from complex 1 to, there is an iron sulfur cluster. Iron sulfur clusters are there. That iron sulfur clusters gains the electrons. Once the iron sulfur clusters gains the electrons, again the electrons are transported to ubiquinone. Ubiquinone, right? Ubiquinone is the enzyme, right? That is the one of the electron transport chain component. Electron transport chain component, that one involved in the pumping of H plus ions. See the ubiquinone, ubiquinone involved in the pumping of H plus ions. So this is the ubiquinone. Once it gains the electrons, and for the stabilization purpose, it takes the 2 protons. It takes the 2 protons. Remember, any molecule gains electrons for the stabilization purpose. H plus ions also required. Protons also required. So once any compound gains the electrons for the stabilization purpose, it gains the H plus ions. So here ubiquinone gains that gains the electrons from the iron sulfur cluster. Immediately interact with that 2 H plus ions. So here ubiquinone H2. Ubiquinone H2. So this is one of the oxidizing. This is one of the oxidized state. This is one of the reduced state. See, hydrogen atoms are absent. So that is the oxidized state. Hydrogen atoms are present. The state is the reduced state. So ubiquinone oxidized condition is there, and ubiquinone reduced condition is there. So once it gains that 2 H plus ions, it's released into the H plus ions are released into the perimitochondrial space. See, I already said this is the inner membrane of the mitochondria. This is the inner membrane of the mitochondria. This is the outer membrane of the mitochondria. The green line indicates here outer membrane of the mitochondria. So mitochondria is the double membrane contained cell organelle. It's having a space between the 2 membranes. The space is called as perimitochondrial space. So this is the perimitochondrial space. Within that space, there is an accumulation of protons will be takes place. Accumulation of protons will be takes place. So this is the ubiquinone, and it gains that electrons, and followed by it gains that H plus ions. It's reduced. Then the H plus ions are released into the perimitochondrial space. So here NADH plus H plus. NADH plus H plus interact with that NAD dehydrogenase. It's involved in the pumping of 2 H plus ions. Ubiquinone also involved in the pumping of 2 H plus ions, right? So this is the one of the this is complex one. I already said this is complex one. So this is the complex 3 structure. So the structure is the complex 3, right? So what I am telling here, this is the complex 1, right? Complex 1 is also called NAD dehydrogenase because the complex 1 specifically interact with the NADH plus H plus, it's converted into NAD plus, again NAD plus involved in the TCA cycle. So and after that NAD dehydrogenase, there is an iron sulfur clusters are there. Iron Fe, that one indicates for iron. S indicates for sulfur. Iron sulfur clusters are there. So here electrons are pumping from NAD dehydrogenase to iron sulfur clusters. Again the electrons are transporting from iron sulfur cluster to ubiquinone. Here ubiquinone structure, right? Here ubiquinone exhibit 2 types of the states. One of the state is called as oxidized state. Other state is called as reduced state. So once the ubiquinone gains the electrons, it's interact with the H plus ions. So the H plus ion present state is called as reduced state. So if H plus ions are absent, the state is the oxidized state. So here ubiquinone involved in the pumping of 2 H plus ions from matrix 2. So this is the reason, this is the mitochondria matrix region. From mitochondria matrix to perimitochondrial space, 2 H plus ions are transported. So this is the structure of the complex 3. So ubiquinone 2, complex 3, the electrons are transported. So electrons are transported, right? Once the electrons are transported, the cytochrome B2 iron sulfur clusters, again the electrons are transported. See, again iron sulfur cluster 2, again here ubiquinone is there, it gains the 2 H plus ions, right? And once it gains the electrons, it gains the 2 H plus ions. Again the H plus ions are pumping from matrix to the perimitochondrial space. So this is the last structure. This structure is especially called as complex 4. This structure is called as complex 4. This structure is the complex 4. Okay, total this structure is the complex 4. So here I discussed about complex 1, and next one is the complex 2, and next one is the complex 4. Okay, we did not discuss about the complex 2. The complex 2 interacting molecule is FADH2. The complex 2 interacting molecule is the FADH2. So the story is different. So first of all here we are discussing about electron transport chain started with the complex 1. Electron transport chain started with the complex 1. So another way is also there. Electron transport chain started with the complex 2. So in one case electron transport chain started with the complex 1. In other case electron transport chain started with the complex 2. So one with the involvement of NADH plus H plus, 2 with the involvement of FADH2. So here electrons are transported, right? Here 2 H plus ions are transported. So here complex 4, this is a very important complex. Okay, the complex 4, especially here there is a molecular oxygen and 2 H plus ions. Molecular oxygen and 2 H plus ions which are interact with that complex 4. Finally it forms the water molecule. See what we are breathing, that oxygen especially utilized at the electron transport chain. Within that electron transport chain at complex 4, within that complex 4 there is a molecular oxygen, means of O2, molecular oxygen, and 2 H plus ions, and gains the electrons, finally forms the water molecule. So within the electron transport chain, the final electron acceptor, is the water. The final electron acceptor is the molecular oxygen, not water. Final electron acceptor is the molecular oxygen, right? So molecular oxygen is the final electron acceptor. It forms the water molecule. So here concept is, already we know, right? See, there is in complex 5 is also there. I don't have the space here, that's why I didn't draw, but I'll show. So here we know that complex 1 interact with that ubiquinone, right? It transports the electrons, and at the same time here pumping of 2 H plus ions takes place. Here also pumping of 2 H plus ions takes place, right? Again the ubiquinone interact with the complex 3. Again here 2 H plus, not here, exactly between these two there is again ubiquinone is there, right? From the ubiquinone again 2 H plus ions are transported. Very simple. Here complex 1 2 H plus ions. Okay, ubiquinone 2 H plus ions, right? Again after that complex 3 there is an ubiquinone is there, right? It's involved in the 2 H plus ions pumping. So exactly at complex 4 there is a molecular oxygen is the final electron acceptor. Here 2 H plus ions are taken and molecular oxygen is there. Okay, it produces the water. Right? See, then what is the use of complex 5? Remember, complex 5 not involved in the transportation of electrons. Complex 5 not involved in the transportation of electrons, but the complex 5 is very important. Because the complex 5 especially involved in the pumping of H plus ions from peri-mitochondrial space to matrix. Peri-mitochondrial space to matrix. Remember, all these four complexes involve in the pumping of electrons from matrix to peri-mitochondrial space. Matrix to peri-mitochondrial space. But the complex 5 is the only complex involved in the pumping of electrons from peri-mitochondrial space to matrix. Peri-mitochondrial space to matrix. So, after the complex 4, the next one is the ATP synthase enzyme. That is nothing but complex 5. ATP synthase enzyme. ATP synthase enzyme. That enzyme involved in the synthesis of ATP. That enzyme involved in the synthesis of ATP. So here, see, one ATP synthesis requires 2 H plus ions. One ATP synthesis requires 2 H plus ions. So this is the complex. This is the complex 5 involved in the synthesis of ATP. Okay, we will discuss. There is an rotatory binding method is there. Okay, here several. Yeah, we have that matter. We will discuss later. Right. See here. See what I am telling here. This is one of the complex 5. So this complex 5, especially here, 2 H plus ions. Every time 2 H plus ions are transported. So 2 H plus ions are transported from here to here, from here to here. Right. See, one ATP synthesis takes place. So pumping of 2 H plus ions equals to pumping of 2 H plus ions equals to 1 ATP. Pumping of 2 H plus ions equals to 1 ATP. So I already said NADH plus H plus, okay, involved in the synthesis of 3 ATPs. So how NADH plus H plus is equals to 3 ATPs? Remember here, this is the 2 H plus ions equals to 1 ATP. Again, these are the 2 H plus ions equals to 1 ATP. Again here, this one is the 2 H plus ions equals to 1 ATP. So this is about pumping of H plus ions. This is about pumping of H plus ions. See, if these H plus ions are transported through the complex 5, so every 2 H plus ions equals to the 1 ATP. So NADH plus H plus involved in the pumping of 6 H plus ions. So that one is equals to the 3 ATPs. That one is equals to the 3 ATPs. Remember, this is a just peripheral explanation within electron transport chain. Okay, the major steps are within electron transport chain. Major steps are pumping of H plus ions. Next one, generation of proton gradient. Generation of proton gradient. Third step is electron acceptor. Final electron acceptor is the oxygen. Final electron acceptor, right? So the last step is the ATP synthesis enzyme. So these are the major steps. Pumping of H plus ions. The very first step is pumping of H plus ions. Next one is the generation of electrochemical gradient. Generation of electrochemical gradient is nothing but proton gradient. Generation of electrochemical gradient is nothing but the proton gradient. See here, okay, inside low H plus ion concentration is there. Here high H plus concentration is there. So that one is shows that gradient differentiation. That one is also called electrochemical gradient or proton gradient. Okay, the difference is there. So that difference is called as that difference supporting for the generation of proton gradient. The next one is the final electron acceptor. See, the final electron acceptor is the oxygen. Especially here, molecular oxygen. Molecular oxygen, not O2. Molecular oxygen. We have to mention like that only, right? Last one is the ATP synthase. ATP synthase enzyme. So here, these are the important steps. These are the important steps. All of you remember, within electron transport chain, Okay, everyone we are thinking electron transport chain. Okay, we are thinking about transport of electrons, but that is not the major target involving the pumping of H plus ions. Pumping of H plus ions. And next is the generation of proton gradients. Generation of proton gradient, because here low H plus ion concentration within the matrix, low H plus ion concentration. Within perimitochondrial space, high H plus ion concentration. So that H plus ion concentration, there is a difference is there. That difference supporting for the generation of proton gradient. So the protons are trying to move from here to here, because here low concentration, here high concentration. So there is only one way is there, the way through the ATP synthase engine. So through that ATP synthase engine, 2 H plus ions are moved, that energy supporting for the synthesis of 1 ATP. So the role is final electron acceptor. Within electron transport chain, the final electron acceptor is the molecular oxygen. So these are the major steps within the electron transport chain. This is only linked with the complex 1. So in the next class we will discuss about that complex 2, involvement of complex 2. See, this is only involvement of complex 1, electron transport chain. Here involvement of complex 1. In the next class we will discuss about the involvement of complex 2. Finally, how many number of ATPs are produced by the complex 2, how many number of ATPs are produced by the complex 1, we already discussed. If complex 1 is involved, complex 1 is activated by NADH plus H plus. So NADH plus H plus involved in the 3 ATP synthesis. Okay, in the next class we will discuss about the complex 2, involvement of complex 2. So complex 2 is activated by the FADH2. We already know FADH2 involved in the synthesis of 2 ATPs. So in the next class we will discuss. So this is about the electron transport chain. So here only involvement of complex 1, right?